Namaste. I wanted to share with you guys what I call the goddess sequence. This is a really quick sequence which can be used when you're fairly warm. It can be used in conjunction with other yoga poses and other parts of your practice. But it's basically something that I like to do when I want to generate strength and feeling really powerful for whatever project I have going on or whatever I have in my day or whatever I'm focusing on. We all, of course, have this inner strength, this inner power. We're all gods or goddesses in a sense, if you want to call it that. We can all tap into this really infinite, amazing amount of power that we all have as we're all connected and in tune with the universe. So again, the sequence is really quick. It's really easy to do. I want to share it with you. It's something that I personally work on in my own practice, especially when I'm traveling, when I'm in hotels, when there's just a lot going on. I like to really cultivate this in my own life. So first things first, we're going to come into downward dog. And again, you can just sort of work this into your practice a little bit. You want to be fairly warm, somewhat warm. And first I'm just going to come up and keeping the hips down, low and square, just lifting up one leg at a time just to prepare. Good. So make sure your downward dog is always you're in good position and your fingers are rooted down. And now I'm just going to lift my left leg up. And I'm going to come using your core, step between your hands, and right away I'm going to drop my right knee. I'm just going to come down and then I'm going to come forward. This is just the beginning part to stretch, and then I'm going to tuck my back toes and do the same thing with straighter legs. Good. So now you're coming forward into a lunge. You can arrange your fingers. Here I like to pause and really feel like I'm compacting my hips in, and I'm already starting to feel focus. My drishti, my gaze is forward. And from this really low place, I'm going to start to sweep my arms all the way up into Crescent Pose or High Lunge. And here is where I like to really feel, why I call it the goddess pose. You can really feel the power in your pelvic floor, in your hips, and there's something that happens when you really sweep your arms up. Really gaze forward, really look at something. And then I like to take my hands down like I'm curling in, and I like to bow my head. Again, all this power in your legs. And same thing, like I'm gathering energy from the earth, coming all the way up, lifting. And then as you curl, and you're taking in that energy, but we want to be humble, of course, and lower the head, and like we're bowing down to our higher self, to the universe, to God, to whatever you want to call it. I like to do this at least 3 times, lifting up, really feeling your power. And on the 3rd time, I'll come into Anjali Mudra. And then come down into plank, lower, and then lift up into upward dog if you're feeling warm, and all the way back. Now, same thing in between sides. We'll do a leg lift on each side just to recalibrate. Make sure you're breathing through your nose, your Ujjayi breath. And here we go on the right side. You're going to lift up and already accessing that inner core, that root of your being, to really step forward with control. Lower the left knee. Come back, start to straighten the front leg. And you can come off the ball of the foot if that feels good. And as you come back, we're going to tuck the left toes, straighten your legs. Again, if you feel warm enough, you can also lift, or you can keep your foot down. And now as we come forward, we're going to come into our lunge. So fingertips down, compact your hips. Feel like you're pushing everything in towards your midline, towards your Sushumna Nadi, the middle, where you can really balance. Look straight forward, find a gaze point, and already start to feel really strong and powerful here. So we're engaging through the legs, really pushing through the back heel, so both legs are engaged. And now sit into your hips, sit into your pelvic floor as you use that strength, like we're gathering energy. Come all the way up and sit again. So again, look at your point. gather in, and then bow the head, bow the ego, come down. It's not where our energy lies. Our energy lies in the expansion. And coming together and connecting. Good. And again, bow down. Just all the things that separate us from others. Always feeling, you know, our ego started kicking in sometimes, which is taking us away from our real power. But here's the strength. You can really sit into it and feel your arms engaged. And if you sit here long enough, you can really start to feel the legs work. But you can do a couple rounds if you like. Coming on the third one, down through Anjali Mudra, into plank. Sometimes I like to leave the leg off the ground as I lower into Chaturanga. Shoulders in line with elbows. Come over, you can lift your head. And back into downward dog. In between, I like to stay at least 3 to 5 breaths. Of course, sometimes I like to pop up as well into forearm stand in between, but that's another, we'll do that in another tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoy Goddess Sequence. It's really about feeling the roots of the earth as you lift up into your own power, which we all have, we all can access within ourselves. So namaste and Om Shanti.